How's it going, everybody? I want to do a quick video on this little tracked self-loading dumper. So this guy's made by AGT. It's a QHT500FL. So really long acronym there, but what it is just a tracked frame. It has this hopper here that's hydraulically driven. It'll dump out. I mean, it gets a pretty good angle, so you're probably gonna get most of the material out. And it has a self-loading bucket right here, so you'll come into the pile of material and it'll lift it up over the hopper, and then it falls out the backside here into the hopper. As far as the power plant on it, it is just a little gasoline powered, this is a generic 212cc 7 horsepower motor. This thing does come with a hydraulic oil cooler right here, so that's what this guy is. And this thing does get a little warm. The pumps were hot to the touch after about an hour and a half of using it, and there was definitely some heat in there, but having that fan there does help. I unplugged it at probably the hour mark because the draw of this fan, the charging system on this little motor, cannot keep up with it. So that's one thing I noticed. Also, as you can tell, it's really cold out, and this thing's been sitting in the storage unit for probably close to 2 months. So it hasn't been getting run a lot, so that battery's probably weak to begin with. So time's going to tell if that fan really is that big of a draw, but that's just my initial impression here, the first time really running it. What I'm doing with this thing, or what I was doing with it, is I was just piling up the snow, scoop it in the hopper, drive it through this gate right here, and we're piling it up because, well, we have kids that want to play in the snow, and you need to make it, we didn't have enough snow fall, so we're compromising here. I'm piling in a big old load of snow in there so they have something to play in. And I get that that's not realistic of what this thing's going to be used for. This thing will really shine with, picking out manure out of like barn stalls, picking up beauty bark, pea gravel, loose material. I would not say this thing will do good with hard pack material at all. It'll probably just stall the machine out. And this is pretty thin steel. I mean, you can see, like, that's just not thick. And hydraulics, I mean, I get, that's, about the size of my finger there. So the components on it are not very big, but it's not designed to work in hard pack material. It's designed for you to be able to, dump a load of beauty bark. It will self-load, and it will carry it to like the backyard or wherever your project is. And that's why we bought this thing, is so what we're going to do is in this driveway right here, we're going to have a load of topsoil dumped, and then we're going to take it through this gate here, and we're going to be adding topsoil. You can't see it right now, but this yard has sunk down quite a bit over the years, so we need to add a couple yards. So that's what this machine's going to be used for. It snowed. I wanted an excuse to play on it, and that's literally all I was doing, was just screwing off. So, but after an hour and a half, I mean, this thing is kind of impressive. I mean, it does what you think it will do. If you're on concrete, the ride is a little bit rough just with the lugs and the tracks, but once you're in deeper snow or on dirt, it smooths out. And yeah, pretty simple components. So you can see right here, you have these two screw right here with 2 bolts on it. Those are locked down there. This is what you use to tension your tracks. And then you have your idler wheels in there, and then you have your, this is the front idler wheel, and in the back right there, that's your drive motor. This is a dual pump machine here, so when you're operating this thing with the tracks, essentially one pump is going to be sending power to one track, and one pump is going to be sending power to the other truck. Just so you can have the volume to be able to cruise a little bit higher speed than what like a 1-ton little excavator would be able to do. Power's fine on it. That small little motor right there is more than enough to, propel this thing up and down the hill, push stuff with it. Yeah, I mean, it does what it's going to do. I mean, it's nothing fancy. For starting it, you have to manually choke it here, and this is how you run the throttle, and the key just sits on this side right there. You crank it over. Like I said, the battery's weak on this thing, but it's been sitting for a while. So, yeah, just a little overview. I don't see a whole lot of information on the, YouTube about this stuff, so I figured I'd do a video. My impressions, at least for this first trying it out, messing around with it in the snow, it works. It does what it's going to do. My buddy bought one for clearing out horse stalls, and he loves it. He was like, he was really impressed with the, power it had and what it'll do, because, you look at this thing really does look like a big Tonka toy. It's not something you would think you're going to get a lot of work out of, but, that's kind of the case with a lot of these little Chinese machines that you see hitting the shores nowadays here in the U.S. is they look kind of flimsy, but they just work, and, it's, people underassume what they'll do. So, only complaint I have on this one is this little pad right there. I only have one here. There's none on this other side there. I don't know if that just fell out, but when you're stepping on here, your foot is hyperextended up because the back end here tips down so far, and so when you're riding around, your heel's down, your toes up, and it feels like you're hanging on here, and it feels kind of uncomfortable. It's not really the most pleasant ride. So, I'm looking at that hole right there, and it does look like it was designed for two of these, but, I'm not sure. I'll have to look online and see if these things did come with two of them. But, that's really the only complaint I have about it. So, anyway, get some video of this thing moving some snow here, and so you guys can check it out. Anyway, thanks for checking out the video.